Alright guys, what is up? It's Jack and welcome back to another video. So this video is going to be closer to the chest and it's going to be something that's very, very important to me. So for those of you guys that are interested, stick around. For those of you guys that were hoping for something different, I apologize, but this is something way different. I figured I'd share it with you guys. And the thing is, with time and with maturation when it comes to this whole content creation thing, as well as my age, and I'm 35, and it seems like the older I get, I need to stop worrying about what the fuck other people think. And I need to stop listening to the naysayers. And the thing is, whenever you listen to the naysayers or whenever you give in to your depression, it's only going to spiral and make things worse. And what gives the other people the right to basically say, to basically say and believe, or try to make you believe that, no, you're not capable of doing this, or no, you can't do this, or no, you can't do that, or you're not good enough, or you're not this, or you're not that. For every single person that's ever been successful in pretty much anything, they've never really listened to the naysayers. Now, constructive criticism is one thing, absolutely. And I believe that no matter what, you could always get better at anything and everything you do, whether you're the best at it or whether you're the worst. You could always get better. So with that being said, I basically wanted to discuss some of my goals in terms of YouTube. And it's something that really I think I'm pretty much ready at this point to basically dive as deep as I can and to try to make this thing happen. Granted, I will admit I don't fully know or understand what the fuck I'm doing. So I'm just going to I'm going to do my absolute best. And I want to go in depth on that. And on top of that, I want to share a few other things with you. Now, as you guys know, as of the last 3 weeks, I've been rested because I'm only working one job, which is great. I mean, I've even got a few extra hours now because a lot of people need coverage at this one job. And it's the one job that I like. It's the one job that gives me my benefits and actually has made a lot of things possible for me, not just now, but in the future, actually, as well. And granted, this job alone doesn't yet pay for all my bills. It's enough to where I'll be all right. And then whatever I have accumulated in savings will keep me just fine for a while if I want it to. So with that being said, what I want to do over these next few months, if not longer, depending on how things go and all this kind of other things, because you can't really predict what the future will hold and whatever else could happen in life. And unfortunately, I don't have, the amount of money and savings that I would like to have to say, hey, you know what? I would love to concentrate on this content creation thing full force for the next year. And no matter what happens, I'll be fine. If something big happens, or if my if my car breaks down to where I need thousands and thousands of dollars to repair it, no fucking big deal. I can make it happen because I have that much money saved up. But that's not exactly the case. I don't have as much money saved up as I'd like to, but at the same time, I'm not in the desperation mode that I was actually about a year ago now when I made the ultimate risk to change professions into the profession that I have today. And the last time I reminded myself also, the last time you took the risk, you ended up in a really good place and it's only going to get better. And it's absolutely true. And it's made a lot of things possible for me for my future. But with that being said, now that I'm rested and now that I have a lot more me time, it's given me the opportunity to think about me in terms of what I want, what I think I'm meant to do, and just to kind of reflect upon my life from childhood up until today. And the thing is, content creation or content or entertainment, video games, movies, and things like this have been in my life since before age 7. At age 7 is when video games started coming into play, actually thanks to my parents. But before then, at around age 5 or age 4, which is as far back as I remember, believe it or not, as corny as it sounds, it's absolutely true. I was fascinated and fell in love with movies. I always have been that way, always will be. I'll always be a geek. I mean, I even remember, even now, as of more recent times, I mean, when I was working at the restaurant, there's a friend of mine who's a friend of mine in real life, and shout out to him. He goes by Half Ton Hammer. So if he happens to see this video, he can probably state his own views on the subject in the comments section if he wants to. But the thing is, he and I used to spend a lot of time, whether we were busy at work or whether we weren't busy, we spent a lot of time talking about our excitement for movies, our thoughts about everything, video games, movies. We're both gamers. We're both into content and stuff like that. I mean, he doesn't do YouTube or streaming or anything like that, but he absolutely loves video games. He has all the consoles. Loves all the movies, you name it. So we spent a lot of time talking about movies and stuff like that whenever work would get slow or not, or whatever the deal was. We just loved it. And the thing is, it made our days go by faster because I don't think either of us were crazy about what we're doing for a living. So the thing is, it made our time go by faster and it was really great. And it was just another way of us to socialize as people and as friends that we are. So the thing is this, I'm like, well, what if I can bring it to a point to where I could do this and I could make some sort of something out of it, if I can make a future out of it to some degree. And I posted a tweet not too long ago basically saying that if I can make, this amount, or even if it's less or whatnot, I would never look for another job again, because I would just build off of that. Now, granted, it would be very hard to spend an insane amount of time for an insane amount of months straight, nonstop, without having to look for another job unless something happened in order to kind of break even, so to speak. But the thing is, I have come to realize, after all this me time that I've had recently and all this thinking, I have come to realize that I believe that this is what I'm meant to do, for whatever reason, because I just absolutely love it. And at the same time, I also believe that if I reach a certain point, that at this point, basically, it's like I could actually, how do I put this? This is going to sound very corny, but it's absolutely true. I could actually do good with my hobby and with my habit of games, content creation, movies, you name it, and blending them in somehow. And yeah, I could literally not just do good for myself, or maybe just find a way to just, I don't know, make, it's going to sound so corny, but even in the smallest ways possible, make the world a better place. Like, for instance, let me just give you an example. Let's say I'm able to make something from streaming, right? What if I do a monthly stream to which every single penny that I make for that one session, which would probably be a 12-hour session or something like that, would go straight towards some sort of cause, whether it's for animal care or whether it's for Red Cross or something like that, St. Jude's Hospital to help kids with cancer or something like that. You know what I mean? What if I get to the point to where I actually can help improve the world in some way, shape, or form by doing my passion, which happens to be this? So the thing is, obviously, it starts out slow. But the thing is, we got to start somewhere. And you know what? I've also come to realize, especially with my age, which is 35, for those of you that don't know, I can't be listening to the naysayers. Every single time I listen to the naysayers, or every time I let my depression get the best of me, or if I just listen to the naysayers, which, if you suffer from any form of depression, whether it's mild or severe, the naysayers become more powerful than they need to be. And it's very easy to listen to all the negative things they have to say about what they think of you and what they think of what you're capable of or what you can't do. And every single person that is successful out there, or everybody that thought that was crazy or whatnot, and that actually ended up being successful because they followed their goals and they followed their dreams, one of the things that I've noticed about every single one of them is you can't listen to the naysayers. You can't. And the older you get, another thing that I've realized also from the senior community, which I spend a lot of time with as well, is that basically the older you get, the less you care about what other people think. Now, I understand constructive criticism. I understand respecting other people and other people's viewpoints, and I'm all about that. But at the same time, if somebody is basically criticizing you because they believe that you're not able to accomplish something, you can't listen to that. And as a matter of fact, it should give you motivation and fuel to actually make it happen. Arnold Schwarzenegger succeeded with this kind of mindset. Crim6 from, formerly known as Optic Gaming, I think now they're called Empire or whatnot, he succeeded with this kind of mindset. So with me, if I want to take the biggest step beyond what I'm just saying here, is that I can't listen to anybody that says that I can't do this or I can't do that, or I'm not capable, or I'm not good enough, or if my commentaries suck, or if I'm not a good COD player, or if I'm not this, or if I'm not that, or you're just a dreamer, you're just this, you're just that. I can't listen to that shit. My ass is 35 years old, and I can't listen to what somebody thinks or doesn't think of me, and I can't just, And the thing is, I understand that I'm not the best at everything or anything. I understand that I'm not the best content creator. I understand I'm not the best commentator. I know my videos may not be the best of quality, but at the same time, I know I'm not the worst either. So at the same time, I know that I can improve upon that, and you got to start somewhere. And quite frankly, I've been at this for 4.5 years now. And the thing is, my goals are to basically get to a point, basically just put my thoughts and my dreams into play, just like I did with this YouTube channel starting over, 4.5 years ago. So I need to get to a point to where I need to start educating myself. And not only that, I also want to collaborate with people. And I want to get into that right now. For those of you guys that are interested in collaborating with me, there is, for instance, if I went up to Drifter and said, hey, Drifter, I want to, just to give you an example, I want to collaborate with you. He he's a gentleman, and he's very polite and he's very kind. But I'm sure one of the first things that would go through his head is like, you got some ways to go. And that's because I'm really small. And there's this thing to where, if you're way too small, you basically don't qualify to collaborate with much bigger channels. So, and I'm basically talking about like my size channel versus collaborating with somebody who's got like 100,000 or more. We got to stick within our ratio. So I say that I am ready to start collaborating with people, whether it's podcasts, whether it's videos, and or both. And the minimal requirement what I can see and from what my YouTube experience tells me is that like if you have around 600 subscribers to at the most 1,800, which is bigger than me. So I'm at 1,200 right now. So a little bit over 1,200. So basically 600 less than me or 600 more than me. Let's get together and collaborate, because every single one of us can basically benefit from it, from a content creation standpoint, from a view standpoint, from a growth standpoint. Because right now, especially with the smaller guys here on YouTube, let's be real here. Let's be honest. We all want to grow and get to a certain point for whatever reason, right? Whether it's just because we absolutely love making content and we just want to see progression and we like that, that's cool. Or whether we want to make this a career somewhere down the line in the future, or even a career now, or to basically let our passion become some sort of way for a living for us, so that way we don't have to do a job that we hate, or we want to turn our passion into something more, or whatever the deal may be. The thing is, we all want to see progression in some way, shape, or form. And for the smaller guy here on YouTube, it's really, really difficult unless you have the amount of time and consistency to invest. And realistically speaking, for most people, that's just impossible. We all have bills to pay. There's inflation. There's some of us that basically have more than just ourselves to take care of. There's all these different kinds of factors that play into this whole thing. So the thing is, it's really very uncommon to be able to, let's say, work full-time or overtime and yet put in 40 or more hours into this whole YouTube thing. It's very unrealistic, especially when you have other obligations as well beyond work. Okay. So not all of us are in a position to do that, but at the same time, we can do something about it. We can put more time, more effort, yes, without killing ourselves. But the thing is, we have to work together. We cannot do this alone, especially with the way the YouTube algorithm is now, with the way just everything seems to be with YouTube. I mean, you can blame Call of Duty and all that kind of stuff, sure. But at the same time, it's also very difficult for somebody to expand and do something or add in something a little bit different, which they're not really known for. Like, for instance, me, I love movies. I would love to do some movie reviews here and there, or some podcasts here and there, but it's not something I normally do on this channel. It's not something I really actually did. But it's something that I would like to add in, as I've mentioned previously in previous videos. I want to expand on my content. I want to keep doing the stuff that I've been doing, but I want to expand. And I understand that not everybody that watches me is going to be all about that. I understand. But at the same time, it's really good to stay true to oneself. But I'm gonna try to tackle the ultimate challenge, which is to try to make everybody happy. I know I won't succeed, but I do have faith in myself that if I really do try, and if I really am passionate about it, that I will succeed in terms of the majority. I can make the majority of people happy. To make everybody happy is just unrealistic, and it doesn't make sense. But the majority of people, I know that I can. Especially if I put everything I have into it, because quite frankly, numbers and statistics really don't lie. And from everything that I know in my life, every single time I truly went for something and I really, really tried at it, I have yet to fail. I have yet to fail. And as a matter of fact, the only time, which was about a year ago, when I took the truly first really big risk in my life to try to go for a different career that ended me up in the organization that I'm working for now, that is giving me the opportunity to basically even go to college and to make a better future for myself with that. If you don't count content creation and all that, I mean, that's huge. That's big. And the opportunities are there. So the thing is, if I apply that kind of risk and that kind of thought process into this as well, I have no doubt that I will succeed. But the fact is that I also am to the realization that I can't do it alone. And at the same time, it's not for a selfish reason. It's also for other small guys. It's really hard for other small guys out there, guys that are way smaller than me, that put in some time and they barely are able to make any or little growth whatsoever, to a point to where their dreams will not be realized. And that's a shame, because I know that there are other content creators out there that are really good at what they do and they have a passion, and you got to start somewhere. Nobody ended up being a drifter or one of these big guys, just to name somebody, or nobody ended up getting to a certain point on stream simply by doing it overnight. It took time, it took effort. And yes, the guys that ended up being successful today, they did start early when there was a lot of growth in YouTube and where it was freshly new and people kept on, coming into their channel, sure. But at the same time, right now, we just got to realize that we got to stop being selfish and just looking at our own selves for content, and start collaborating and start putting ideas together and expanding, because that's the only way that's going to happen from what I could see. And if there is another way, and if somebody here has figured it out that they're willing to share, please let me know. But at the same time, I'm all about keeping things fresh between different content creators and collaborating. So like for instance, today, just to give you guys an example before I close here, Exclusive Ace and Drifter both worked on a skill-based matchmaking. They both worked on gathering information about skill-based matchmaking for Modern Warfare. And it basically wasn't able to be done without one or the other. It had to be done with both people. And in some ways, when it comes to content creation, what a specific person wants to do, or a specific amount of people that want to do, you got to implement some teamwork. Maybe not all the time, but you got to implement some teamwork here and there. There are channels out there that do this all the time, that work together all the time, and they collaborate. There's a smaller guy and then there's a bigger guy, or there's two guys, for instance, that basically just work together and make things happen, and around we go. And they create their own kind of flow and their own success from that. They do it through teamwork. You can only do so much by yourself, but if you surround yourself with the right people, as life also taught me recently as well through my job, if you surround yourself with the right people, with the right kind of mindset, with the right positive attitude, guess what? You're going to make things happen. So with that being said, I've gone way over time than what I originally intended to. So with that being said, let's make things happen. So you guys know where I am on Twitter. You guys can reach out to me on here as well. If there are any further questions or anything out there you guys might have, if there's anything you want to say down below, let it be said. For those of you guys that want anything negative to say, I'm not going to listen to that shit. And for those of you guys that are going to be positive, I just wanted to say thank you for your support. I know that there are those of you that are absolutely supportive of what I do no matter what. And to those of you guys specifically, I want to say thank you very much. And it means the world to me. And perhaps together we can get things going. We can make not just my channel, but other people's channel out there. We can get them from point A to point B, and we can have a lot more fun on streams. We can have a lot more content creation going with different varieties and stuff like that. And really give you guys a little bit of everything, so that way you can be, as viewers, you could be entertained as well. So, and better than what you are now. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for this one. Let me know down in the comment section. As always, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better. I'll catch you guys on the next one.